You know, and I know, and they know, cause we know, we go all in. You know, and I know, they know, cause we know, we go all in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest edition of What You've Been Missing. You are now listening to the All Dressed Up podcast, including yours truly. And to my right, I didn't even say who I am yet. K Dizzle DC. And to my right, your other left, the man, the myth,
Get
the legend.
yourself together.
Yo, shout out to the underdogs, man. Tell them who you are, baby. Tell them who you are.
Hey, man, everybody. Welcome. It's that time. It's Sunday. It's your man, Half Streams, man. It's the All Dressed Up podcast. What's good, Sal? What's up? Enough said podcast. But yes, it's the All Dressed Up podcast, man. We back live. What up, K Dizzle?
Hey. It's been a little time in between. What up, Sal? You know, we go all in. We go all in all day. But look, man, we got a lot to recap. A lot has transpired since the last time you and I have been on a show together. Okay. Let's recap this because was it last week? Was it last week?
What?
It was last week. Super Bowl. Super Bowl's last week.
I had time out. We're gonna do an early time out. I'm gonna play early. So I opened up the show runner, right? This week K Dizzle wrote the show. So I'm like, Super Bowl recap. What? It's already been what, 2 weeks?
Has it been 2 weeks?
What did we All right, go ahead. We're gonna straighten this out because K Dizzle's Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. So go ahead, recap some more. What
I'm not going
you
to
learned anything new since your
not
Super
gonna
Bowl?
I'm not going to recap.
Go ahead. No, don't let me ruin your Super Bowl parade because that's basically all you can talk about.
You're not raining on my Super Bowl parade. Okay. All I want to say is look. What's funny is Sal in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, if you listen, Sal in the chat. It's been a minute, DDC. What's good?
What's up? Welcome.
Sal hates Howie Roseman. So for him to come on here and chant Howie is hilarious. That man got hit with a beer can in the forehead.
He got a love for Howie deep down inside, but you know, Sal likes to give his own team a hard time. So when he does show love, it's always that tough love, man.
Hey, look. It was a outright thrashing. We're all aware of that. We know what happened. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. We did what nobody thought we could do, and everybody bet against us. That's what we're used to. You know what I'm saying? All I'll do is I'll leave it like this, okay? Because my man said it best. Number one said it best. I had a purpose. Boy, anybody had an opinion. Shout out to the underdogs.
Wow.
MVP getting it done. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Look to next year. DDC.
We really have got to the point.
Tell them who we are, Jay.
We really have got to the point where we are quoting Jalen Hurts, bro. K Dizzle, you deserve it, man. You deserve it, bro.
For shizzle, man. That's all I gotta say. We came out here, we did that thing. So, you know, now we're into the off season. It's coming faster than we think. It's coming at March, and we're gonna see what everybody else does next year. We have the receipts. Eagles fans keep receipts better than anybody in the universe. Okay, anybody in the universe. We have all the receipts, and we're gonna see what next year looks like too. Because I think we set up for success.
Y'all are set up for years of success, man. It's definitely a great team. You know, inside and out, up and down your roster is really strong, and y'all displayed it this year. Teams got to figure it out. Like this is going to be the off season that teams are going to model themselves after Howie and after the Eagles, man, and start focusing on those lines. Get your O line and D line together because you really could win a Super Bowl when you dominated that line of scrimmage. So you guys showed it outside of your skill players being really good. You know, some of them being great. I can't take it away. Teams got some work to do because I can't tell you, man, what team is really going to compete right now. I think it's the Eagles, and I think you probably got an open slot. Can Baltimore take that slot? Can Buffalo take that slot? We'll see. You know, I know my Commanders got some work to do. I think they're going to spend a lot of money this offseason, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing who comes over to the Commanders in free agency because that's going to make things interesting.
Yeah, we got to get with shout out to the Enough Said podcast, Jermaine and Silent Building. We definitely got to collab again because I have a lot of free agency angst in my spirit. And we'll get all that sports part about us. But look, I know I want to glaze over a little bit about the game itself. We know that it was good for Eagles fans, not so good for Chiefs fans. But let me flip this in really, really, really quick. Okay. Buffalo and Eagles early favorites for next year already. I'm not counting no talk right now.
Right. I mean,
No
it's
team,
hard to say, Sal. Like, what does that mean right now?
no
If you're a favorite right now in February,
yeah, because no team is gonna be the same coming next year.
no.
Nobody's gonna be the same. So we gotta see what it looks like. But look, let's talk about the halftime show. Okay. Because it is analysis paralysis right now with thousands upon thousands of people talking about this halftime show.
What halftime show?
Why you play like
if
so look,
you hear my my house guest, that's Stormy yapping in the background. She's trying to say her piece. We're glad K does on my bad.
no, you good. Shout out to Shanae who's in the building. But
What's
she's
up, babe?
taking care of the young yapper in the back. Look, all right. So on a couple different levels, I mean, everybody understands that Kendrick Lamar and when he does what he does, everything has a meaning and a purpose behind it, even to the smallest detail. And so, we as a culture spent the entire week picking and plotting and showing each individual part in it, which I think is great. Then there was the other side of it, was saying that they didn't understand it, and I get that because what was perfect about the ending song was it was for the people who didn't understand the entire the entire show. It wasn't just about Drake. It wasn't just about that diss. He took that last song to just preference basically his whole entire performance was for people not like us, so people who don't understand what the symbolism of each song was. So I ain't look. I'm gonna sit here and do what everybody else in the internet does. Because look, what did you? I think I'm in analysis paralysis right now. I'm tired. But what did you think about the Super Bowl halftime show?
It's exactly what I expected. It's like, let me tell you the setup of how I watched the Super Bowl. So me and Shanae, we went to a sports bar. We just wanted to see what the energy was like out and about with the game. To see all these Eagle fans that we've never seen before, all around Baltimore County, just show up, and they sure enough did. I think the Ravens fans had some green in their closet, but they were out supporting the Eagles, and the game was trash. So, come like beginning of the second quarter, I realized that we're watching the game on like a literally like 1 second delay with the audio, but I couldn't tell because when you're watching football, you really can't catch it unless you see the analysts while they're talking. So once I finally realized it, Shanae and I, we were like, nah, for the halftime show, we might gotta go to the car. Because honestly, I wanted to see it.
Mhm.
Like I don't know if America was looking forward to it. Hey ma. But I really was. Like I wanted to see it. And we went to the car, we set everything up on the phone, and sonically, I don't know if it sounded better because I was listening to it in the car.
Mhm.
Some people complain about it not sounding well, like the actual, production of sound, the music. They were saying that the crowd was quiet. He wasn't getting the reaction that, a lot of Super Bowl artists that perform usually get. I'm gonna tell you, I was surprised when I heard that feedback afterwards because when I watched it, I said Sinead Kendrick killed this show.
Mhm.
I said, man, he is killing this show. Like I'm literally watching it like jaw dropping, like this is phenomenal.
Mhm.
Like I'm picking up the innuendos. I'm seeing Samuel Jackson do his Uncle Sam thing. I'm hearing, what he's saying to Kendrick after each song, trying to like, speak on how hip hop's been regulated, been censored. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna do it. Oh, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And then he gives the wink and then the message to end the show with Drake because he had to.
Mhm.
It was the biggest moment he's ever gonna have in his career. I
Mhm.
shouldn't say that. I shouldn't marginalize him, but that's probably going to be the biggest moment of his career.
Mhm.
And I think it was a fantastic performance. I think if you do read into the hidden messages, I think, whoever, if it was all Kendrick, man, that's a hell of a job. I liked it.
Most watched Super Bowl halftime show at all. Shanae says she enjoyed the performance more than Rihanna.
Wow.
Part of the silence that some of the crowd had met with was because that performance wasn't necessarily for that crowd, if that makes
Right.
sense. So, but everybody heard A minor. We That is undisputed. That is just a fact, right? So it's completely different, and I think it went over a lot of people's heads. And when you go to Super Bowl halftime shows, they don't normally move in that manner, right? They're just pure performance, pure pomp and circumstance, and pure show. Like Rihanna's was hella dope. Like Shanae said, it was hella dope. She was up in the air, she was everywhere. She had dance songs, she had pop songs, stuff that you can just enjoy yourself to. There was a lot of symbolism in his music. Um, Speaks volumes of symbolism in itself, and when they talk about the culture and things like that. So if you don't listen to it, if you hadn't listened to GNX, or he played some that people know, that's why he brought SZA out and other stuff. But more
But
important,
see, but see, but see, he played Damn, which why he got me because that's one of my personal favorite albums.
there
So
you
he
go.
played like 3 songs off of Damn. But go ahead.
No, no, no. But that's the point. So it was the biggest. It was one of the best halftime shows that I've seen in a long time, in a long, long
I
time.
agree.
Shout out to Kendrick Lamar for stepping out on faith. Because if you look at all the shows he's done on the Grammys and all that other stuff, it's got crazy symbolism in it, and he speaks. And his performances speak more than the music, and it tells a story more than what his music does. So, again, it may not have been the crowd for the Super Bowl, the people who were there, because all the people with money, half of them ain't listening to Kendrick Lamar, half of them aren't. Them seats were hella expensive. I ain't even gonna hold you. I looked at him, was like, yeah, not me. Sal says he was not Prince or Michael Jackson. Let's say that.
But we weren't looking for him to be Prince or Michael Jackson, were we? That's the question that I asked. I don't think Sal people expected him to give that type of musical performance, but I think Kendrick is what he is. Like he's gonna give you that thoughtful mind, thought provoking type entertainment. I appreciated it, man. Moving on quickly because we are gonna be joined tonight by a lovely guest.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to our guest who's gonna be joining us shortly. But the All Star Weekend is wrapping up tonight. New format.
All right. So you just spent 20 minutes explaining to me. Please condense that down. So it used to be just an East versus West, right? Tell me how they're doing the All-Star game.
Man, so previously we always remember East versus West. You got your Eastern All Stars versus your Western All Stars, where your teams were breaking down based off the geography of the actual team.
Mm-hmm.
So you knew who were playing against who, and you had fun matchups. Now it's a whole different game. Adam Silver put his hand on the game again by incorporating a tournament style first to 40 game against with 4 teams being broken down. So they took the All Star selections, they divided them up, and made honorary coaches out of Charles Barkley, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaq, and then Candace Parker. So the whole TNT crews got teams. They even let the G League play against the Rising Stars yesterday. So the winner of that 14 tournament is playing against the OG All Stars. I know I'm rambling, but it's a long process to explain. So you got the OG All Stars who are led by Charles Barkley, who was supposed to have LeBron. My man King James pulled out of the All Star game literally 1 hour before it started. That's a whole nother story. I don't really know what to say about that. But he's playing against his team's playing against the Rising Stars winners. So that's set up to show you all the young talent versus the OGs like the LeBrons, the Kevin Durant's.
So, so wait a minute. All right. So I basically everybody in the chat, everybody who's listening to you right now is completely lost in what the hell.
I know, but I thought I was doing a good job.
It don't matter. I don't understand it. It's like a 14 base system of different players.
So look, so you got the playoffs set up. You got the other 2 teams playing against the other 2, and then the first games is to 40. So there's no running game clock. You got a shot clock. You got the straight to 40 game, and then straight to 25 for the championship. So you get 3 games in one night as opposed to just a running, normal standard game with a clock. I
Uh-huh.
mean, you get better competition. I think what they're doing is they're trying to get as much eyes on all the talent that they can. Speaking of the NBA, because in the next 5 years, who's going to be the face? The time is now.
We don't know. Look, they're trying to figure out how to bring more faces into the game and introduce people. and I have no idea how it's going. So look, maybe I'll have to look and watch back on it. But again, the NBA has still has a popularity issue. And I think this year they're trying to figure it out and how to bring more people into the sport. So if you ain't watching the All-Star weekend, check it out so you can see more new, bright, shinier faces. We ain't gonna talk about LeBron canceling at the last minute because that was dirty.
Yeah,
What we're going to do is we're going to bring in the special guest that we have. She's been on our show before, and she was blessing us to do our show again. Now, let me say this: she's been in multiple shows that you've probably seen, especially on the All Black Network. The first one is Double Cross. She's in a new series that's on the All Black Network called Conspirator. It just dropped, and I think their last episode for this first season is coming this Thursday. So, but I am going to. I love this lady. Not because I know her personally, but I love her story. And I'm stop talking and bring her in because she is the wonderful I am. Candace Van Beauty is in the building. What's up,
Hey,
Candace?
welcome,
hello.
What's
welcome.
going on?
How y'all doing? Can you hear me good this
We
time?
can hear
You
you
see me? You
perfect.
hear
We
me?
can hear you
Perfect.
perfect.
Yes. Hey, y'all.
Well, for the
Welcome.
audience
Thank
who
you.
don't know, tell them who you are. What?
Okay, well, I'm Candace Fan Beauty. I am Tanya. You guys probably know me as Tanya. I get people call me Tanya all the time, and I'm okay with that. So I play Tanya on Double Cross,
Mhm.
but what has happened is that we have a multiverse that is happening now. And Tanya has went over into the conspirators world. So I'm on a new show called Conspirators. I still play Tanya, but this time the show is more geared around a younger, fresher audience that is dealing with the new things that are happening, like AI and technology. And so this was, I guess, of course, if y'all don't remember, my sister is the creator and the writer of the shows that I'm in, and so she wanted to be able to bring all that new information into a series that can be relatable to what's happening right now, what's going on right now with all this AI technology and all these new things that are happening that the older audience like myself and my parents that we're like, what is all of this? I mean, even talks of aliens, right? Because we were getting reports like, oh, aliens are real. We see UFOs and we've been seeing aliens in Miami. So my sister was just like, you know what? Let's bring all of this into a show. So Tanya's character goes over into conspirators, um, which is a show about all the conspiracy theories and things that we talk about, but we don't really have that solid proof to be like, I knew it, but I was thinking it. I just didn't have I didn't have that evidence to prove it. All those things. I play an aunt to one of the tech geniuses who is in real life my nephew. He is in real life my nephew, right? So that was fun for me to be able to have my character come over, and I'm playing an aunt, and very protective over my nephew in real life. I would go to bat, right, for my nephew in real life. So her character kind of is doing the same thing. Tanya, she didn't play in Double Cross about her stepdaughter. She still doesn't, and she ain't playing about she don't play about her nephew, she don't play about her family, period. So I get to come over, and this is now my universe. This is now Tanya's universe, and all the things that are happening now is just bringing in a fresher audience and allowing for us to say some of the things that we really haven't that we want to say, but we think, but we haven't really said out loud.
Hey, look.
So
So
yeah,
I dove into it, right? Because I was big on Double Cross, right? Shout out to
yeah,
Double Cross,
yeah.
Black. But I dove into conspirators, and boy, y'all ain't playing.
No.
Y'all ain't playing. Like you said, I mean, it's wild because they roll into like you said, my alien crazy stuff that
Hmm.
I won't spoil it. I will not
Hmm.
spoil it. I think you should go watch it and check it out. And always support the black culture and also good content. I'm gonna tell you
Amen.
right now, y'all like 3 steps above. This production is like 3-4 steps above, some Shout out to man Tyler Perry.
Oh, well,
But
thank you.
I will say that, man, and y'all do a great job in storytelling. This one was kind of fast paced with it, like I said
Yeah.
before, it was kind of fast paced, but
And I think that my sister did that on purpose
yeah,
because the way that technology moves, it moves at a fast pace.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, for my parents, they're in their 70s, but
Uh-huh.
sometimes they have to go back and rewatch an episode to kind of catch all the nuances and catch the things, the different things that are happening and be like, oh, okay, I see. Now I get it. Now I'm putting it together. But that's literally how it is in real life.
Yeah.
Like I have all the passwords, I have all the usernames because they can't do it. It's so fast. It's fast moving. It's
Mhm.
fast paced. All the different apps and the channels and all these things. And so, in her way of um, making that this type of show relatable to the audience, she has to make it fast paced. It's a lot of moving parts. So even with some of the graphics that you see, my
Mhm.
brother Howard has always been into tech. He's always been into AI and virtual reality. Like when it wasn't really popular, before the AR goggles, before all of that,
Mhm.
he used to go to conventions and literally be come back and be like, dude, we saw something. It was amazing. You put him on like he was that kid. So this was his opportunity to put it in conspirators. So you see some of the moving parts from scene to scene where it looks like it's AI generated person, and then the whole scene switches, and then you have glitches and all these things. But that's what's real, and that's what's happening now. So he was able to express himself through the special effects and getting all that done to make it relatable to us now.
Woo.
Yeah, it's good. It's
That's
good.
incredible.
Yeah, it's good.
So talk
Yeah.
a little bit about your journey with filming this. Now, this was filmed. Where was this filmed?
This was filmed in DC. So we brought it home. And it was really important for my sister and my brother who have had the opportunities, even myself, have had the opportunities to go to LA for us to bring this back home and give people that don't have that opportunity to go to LA to actually be able to put themselves on a set or real production that's going to be streamed on a really good network to build their resume, to get their talent seen, to give them an opportunity. So that's why they wanted to come home and shoot it in DC. A lot of the when she was writing the script, she made sure she put in a lot of the locations in the script right here in DC. So that like, okay, this is specifically designed to be shot right here, right at home in DC. We got Scooby, who is a longtime friend of ours. He's the lounge owner, and he's able to come on and play and sing, and we know him. I can't remember the name of his band, but he's a legendary here, as a go-go artist. So we have a lot of people that were able to just come out, audition, and get really good speaking roles, and that was important. So a lot of times, you go on sets in Atlanta and you travel all the way down there, but then you don't even get a speaking role. You got to sit on set all day. You want to go to Tyler Perry Studios, but you're gonna be an extra. You're gonna sit there all day and not have a speaking role and not be able to, show your talent. So this was the opportunity for the DC artists. And there's so many talented people here. So many people to come out and say, hey, I'm right here. I can do it. I want to do it. So they came out and auditioned. I will say this though. I know I'm long-winded. It was a lot harder to shoot here because the residents of DC were not used to a production being in town.
Right.
Parking was hard. Finding some place for the trailers to go was hard. So we had to like really work with the area, work with the people in the area, be nice. My brother Bernard is an associate producer, and there was actually like a resident who kept calling the police. He had to go schmooze with the lady, like, look, Miss Lady, look. We just trying to shoot a movie. Like maybe we can all treat you to dinner. Like trying to just get her to relax a little bit so we could just get through the shoot. Because it was hard and it was long, hard days. It very cold outside. But everybody that came out, they were very professional
Yeah.
and gung ho about starting this with us and being there for, I mean, anybody that was on that set is family now. Cause I'm like, y'all really down for them Gibsons be doing this, just being out here in this cold weather and sticking through it. You know, we did our best to keep everybody warm and fed and everything. But if you don't really love what you're doing,
Yeah.
you could just be like, this is too much. This is too much. I'm done. So I really appreciated, you know, all the talent that came out, the extras that came out and just stuck it out with us to make this a really great project.
Hey, look. Hal, go ahead. I know you have some questions, but go ahead, Hal.
Nah, like I just want to say thanks for coming back, Candace. We really appreciate you. And thank you for representing our hometown to the best of your ability all the time because
Oh,
you're one
thank
of the
you.
trailblazing celebrities from the DMV. So we appreciate
Thank you
you.
so much.
How much do you get to peek into the script that's upcoming with it being a family production? Like, do you get to cheat and kind of see what your sister's writing to get
Yes.
a head start?
Oh,
You see them kind of ask, like, do you get to prepare earlier than everybody else from like first sitting down and reading the script because your sister's writing?
Well, it's different from that perspective because
Okay,
I try not to rehearse or look at any of the of my character scenes as if I'm going to study it before everybody,
okay,
because acting is more listening and reacting than it is memorizing your lines and shooting them off. You know, because the way that somebody comes in the room, they're bringing the energy, they're bringing the fire, and you have to match that. And I can't predict what that's going to be.
right.
mm,
So, as far as me being able to just see what she's writing, like she has moments where she has what is called, like, you know, the creative process. So she'll start shooting off ideas and she'll say, "What if this happened?" And then that happened and we're all like, "Oh, yeah, that's good." And then we all start shooting in our ideas. So that makes it juicy and we start to anticipate like, yeah, this is going to be good. And then when we actually see what she has written and how she's put the scenes together, and then we all finally get that script, it's like seeing it all put together. So I got pieces and I got little puzzle pieces, you
right.
know, to begin with. But then when she wrote it all and say, "Hey, this is episode 1, this is episode 2," and then I'm able to read it, I'm reading it as if I'm reading the book. Like, "Oh my God, this is good."
So
Versus,
you can smell some of the ingredients while she cooking,
yeah,
and then you get it
yeah,
all. Yeah, I got you.
yeah. And we all get to taste a little bit and say, add a little bit of this and add a little bit of that. And then at the end, it's just a beautiful thing that she's created. It really is.
Shout
Yeah.
out to the quick gem of saying you got to listen more. That's how important
Yeah.
skills are. Listen more and react in the moment. That's what makes it
Yeah.
than,
Absolutely.
than just trying to memorize your lines. Really quick, I'm gonna go
Mhm.
ahead and let me put this in the chat so they know where you can find you really quick on.
Yes.
I'm gonna pull up your TikTok because that's the easiest. Amen. We put
Yes.
it in
It's
the
this
chat.
is for you
TikTok,
for
Candace
TikTok
Beauty.
and
I'm gonna go to
IG.
your page and I'm gonna play this clip from
Okay.
Okay.
Candace, the one that you posted up there.
Okay.
Got it there. So she goes, I am Candace Van Beauty on TikTok. Let me
Yes.
let me pop that in there real quick. Ooh, where it is? There it is, right there.
It's
Go ahead.
you.
Yeah.
It's you that I need to see.
She ain't talking to me. I'll be damned.
The next time you take my nephew to talk to anyone about anything, I will drop a lawsuit on you quicker than B can drop a viral video album. If Tyler needs to talk to anyone in authority, I will handle that. Do you understand me?
100%. It won't happen again.
Oh, it better not. Tyler, let's go.
I'll be there in a minute.
Ooh.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah, so see, like that type of stuff, that wasn't in the script. That wasn't written in the script. And even the B can drop a viral video album, that
mhm,
wasn't in the script. So you go in, you read the script, you see what the energy should be coming from you, and then when you get in the room and you're playing against your counterparts,
mhm.
that's when all that true emotion and those true feelings come out. So when he was like, "Auntie, I'm coming," I'm like, "Oh, I gotta leave my nephew in here. I'm watching you, girl." Like, well,
Yeah,
I'm not playing about my nephew. So yeah,
yeah,
all of that is listening and then responding, listening and then reacting.
right.
It's you can't rehearse that. It won't come off genuine. It will come off rehearsed.
Yeah.
So
That's what.
yeah.
Shout out to Erica coming in. She's just subscribed to All Black. She's gonna catch up on all the films, Double Cross
Yay!
and Conspirators. Crazy dope. If you don't know where to subscribe, go straight into Amazon Prime. Subscribe. It's right at the top. All Black. It says subscriptions. Go in there. It's a lot of great content made by us and cultivated for us. So make
Yes.
sure you guys go check that out. Look, we did sound check, right? We got in
Mhm.
earlier and we talked a little bit, and I want you to talk to me and tell me a little bit what we kind of got into. I had to slow you down. I was like, girl, because
I know.
look, you know, you told me about how you were out in LA.
Right.
Talk to me about you were out in LA and the things you were just telling me, you know,
Yeah.
moving back.
So yeah, so I ended up moving out to LA at the season 5 of Double Cross,
Hmm.
and went out there with the anticipation of, networking and meeting people and just getting my feet wet into the industry, just making things happen. And I actually had a roommate who was out there as well. She had already been living out there previously, and SAG happened, the strike happened.
Hmm.
And so she was like, well, look, since we're in strike, let's come together. Let's move in together. And then that way we can save money while we're, not working, and we can make this happen. So I was like, okay, that sounds great. So we went in, um, we shot most of season 5. And a lot of people have a lot of questions like, why did it end that way? I have so many questions about season 5 of Double Cross. Well, what happened was the SAG strike happened.
Right.
So a lot of the content we couldn't finish, we couldn't shoot. So we were trying to make sure that we put together at least enough information to give them a good season.
Right.
And so the strike happened, we stopped working, and then I ended up getting an agent, which was wonderful. So in the meantime, I have the agent, but we can't work. And so my son started, I have 2 younger sons. I have 3 altogether, but the 2 younger ones came with me. My oldest stayed with his dad so he could finish high school. And he's actually a senior this year. Thankful. And so what ended up happening was I came back home for Christmas.
Mhm.
And when I came back home, I started to see a difference in my sons. And so I was like, maybe they do need their village. Like, I know that I'm shooting for this dream, I'm going after this dream, but I have to make sure that it works for all of us, not just me. I can't be selfish in that my sons are suffering. And so I decided when I came home for Christmas that at the end of the lease that I would just go ahead and come on and move back home. And so I moved back over the summer, which was at the end of the summer, which was August, in time enough for them to go to school.
Mhm.
Fast forward to January, the LA fires happened.
Mm.
And where I lived at was in the valley. So on one side of the mountain, you have Malibu Beach and you have the PCH, which is the Pacific Coast Highway, completely engulfed in flames.
Mm.
That fire then came to the other side of the mountain and started to trickle down into the entire area where I used to live.
Mm.
And I was like, that wasn't nothing but God.
Mm.
Because had I been out there, I only have one cousin that lives out there. I had no family that was out there. A lot of people had to abandon their cars. It wasn't any way that I would have been able to just pack up and be gone with my kids and be safe in that amount of time that those fires were happening. I mean, it started to spread so fast and so quick, and everybody was caught off guard. People were leaving in the middle of the night. I had so many people calling me like, Candace, are you good? Are you okay? Because I didn't announce it that I came back. Because I'm like, I'm coming back. I'm going to keep my head down, get my work done. This is the perfect time. Nobody thinks I'm here, so I don't have to go to birthday parties. I don't have to go to baby showers. I don't have to do nothing.
Right.
I can just focus on me and my kids. But they were calling me, and I was like, I'm safe. I'm good, because I listened to what God was telling me to do for my family, but not really knowing
Mhm.
that it was something way bigger getting ready to come. And
Mm,
I remember when I had told my roommate, like, look, I think I'm not gonna renew the lease. I'm gonna go back. She was kind of feeling like, man, we failed. Because LA is the place where you go. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, just like in New York City. You can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Where I didn't have that perception of we're failing. She had that perception of like, oh, we got to stick it out. We got to make it work. And I'm like, no, like if God is telling you that this is where you need to go or this is what you need to do. Obedience is better than sacrifice. I wasn't willing to sacrifice my son's happiness. So that was what I needed to do for them. And so, fast forward, all of this happening, she ends up leaving LA too and moving to Georgia.
mm,
So I felt like that wasn't nothing but divine intervention. That having that whole conversation with her and convincing her like you just got to listen to God. She went to Georgia. I came to DC,
mhm.
and
Look,
you
look,
talking about feeling saved, feeling like okay, I definitely have some type of direct connection to God. That's very real,
well,
and
look.
I cannot in any way let that go for nothing, nobody. I will always trust my instincts.
You
Always
you
listen to
can't be
God.
coming on here dropping gems like obedience is better
No.
than sacrifice. Lord have
Yes.
mercy.
Yes. I mean, in anything, when God tell you to move or something isn't for you, let it go. Be obedient because you don't really see the big picture. I mean, we're on a journey, right? So I know that what is for me is for me. But
Mhm,
along the way, I know there's going to be challenges and there's going to be tests that come. Like, are you going to listen to God? Are
mhm,
you going to be obedient? Are you going to be selfish?
mhm,
If I give you this, how are you going to handle this responsibility? I understand that. So trusting God is number one. Listening to God is number one. And I'm a true testament to that. I can't express it any more than what I have. Like trust God when God tell you to do something.
mhm.
It's been so many instances in life where we don't and we try to do our own thing and it falls apart and we be like, dang, I knew I should have listened to. I knew I had that gut feeling about and it's that's your innate nature. Like that is your direct connection to God. What's for you won't miss you. And when it's time to let something go, you let it go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And have look, I love hearing these stories because we usually only hear them after the fact. Like we hear like Omari Hardwick stayed with Denzel Washington and his family. And and small little things like that that got them along within their career path. And
Hmm.
just to hear it now while still going through the process, it's like,
Hmm.
you know, it's the one thing that people need to hear because the only time that people learn about you is when you blow up, and that's after you've put all the work, energy, and effort in. And we talk about this all the time, right?
Exactly.
They only see you until after you put that consistency and that dedication.
Exactly.
And so
Yeah.
every time we hear a testament to this nature, we just use that as fuel to people to hear, hey, keep being consistent and doing what you're doing and just
Absolutely.
following and being obedient and staying on the path and always make sure that your goals in line with what you believe God has for you. And we don't
Absolutely.
go into that at crazy, but just
Mhm.
understanding where your help comes from and making sure you're always sticking to the right path. And that comes with discernment
Absolutely.
and then being able to listen and also making the right decisions at the right time. But look, half a luck. You got another question, man?
I do. So,
Mhm.
Candace, a lot of attention's been brought upon the filming industry and some of the practices that might go on behind the scenes that might not be too beautiful for us to know. Like,
Mhm.
some quid pro quo type opportunities. A lot of people got in trouble because they've held some roles over certain actors or actresses' heads. How do you feel being a woman in this industry in 2025, being a black woman in this industry, and positioning yourself for future opportunities and not being, I guess, fearful with who you work with?
Again, um, I've always been a true believer of what's for you won't miss you. And if it's from God, then you don't have to put your integrity on the line.
Mm.
Like I always wanted to make sure that I could wake up and look at myself in the mirror. I mean, I've been in production on set for film, but also in music because
Okay.
I can sing. And I remember I would go to the studio session and it'd be a room full of men. And how intimidating is that? Because now you're the only woman, you're the only feminine energy in the room. And so you got all these eyes on you. Not everybody's being professional. And you still have to hold your own. So when your morals are intact
Mhm.
and you know what you are willing to do and what you're not willing to do, that should always be in the forefront. Like you can never let somebody come in and say, well, I'm not going to give you this or I'm not going to give you that because it's not coming from them. Whatever is for you is coming from God, and no one should be able to take that away. It's when you start to allow for the glitz and the glam and the fame and all of those things to be dangled in front of you where you make your mistakes.
Mm.
That's where you start making your mistakes. Because I am in the production company with my family, I'm completely protected.
Yeah.
I feel so safe
That's phenomenal.
because I know that I don't have to sit on anybody's casting couch and beg for nothing.
Mm.
Right. And God gave me that. I may be, I guess, late on the scene, as some people may say, but I'm the most protected. I am like, I am so secure. And I know that whatever God has for me, however it comes and whatever stages it comes, I can't rush it. When you start rushing it and you're trying to put yourself out there and you haven't learned how to hold yourself, how to be not just professional, but like you have to have I hate to say an air, you have to have an air of confidence about yourself that look, whatever this is that you're trying to offer me to make me lessen myself or to make me not shine as bright. I'm good on that.
Mhm.
You have to be willing to say no. Maya, I love when I hear her interviews because she's an advocate of saying no to things.
Mhm.
And she has been able to have a beautiful career that she loves, to support herself. And she's still pushing out good music. And now she's doing so many concerts and shows. And she's so beautiful, but her morals are intact. Nobody is looking at her like, well, I know she slept with this person and she did this and that. She made her way on her own how she wanted to do it. And I'm the same way. Like, I don't care however long it takes me to get to an Oscar or whatever. What's for me is for me, and it's not going to miss me. But one thing I'm not going to do is compromise myself. I've been in the casting room where I was on the other end. I'm not auditioning, but I'm like looking at the people coming in to be auditioned. And I've literally heard casting directors say, "We not gonna hire her because she has a reputation.
Wow.
We don't want her on the set because she's done X, Y, and Z." See, the industry is so small. It looks like it's real big and spread out, but
Mhm.
it really is small. We deal with the same casting directors over and over again for many different projects, the same production companies over and over again for different projects. So to put yourself in a compromising position is not very smart. But some people feel like they need to do it because they want it so bad. You
Right.
have to know what your price is.
Mm.
And some people are cheap. I'm just not. I'm just not.
Wow, that was a bar right there, K. Dizzle.
You gotta know what your price is, and some people are cheap. It is what it is.
That was
I was always told that I'm priceless.
hey,
That was always, my mom was a very good drill sergeant, I would say. She would put dresses on me and twirl me around, make me look in the mirror, tell me I'm beautiful, but I'm priceless
I love
as
it.
well,
Love it.
And so when you have that confidence about yourself, you're not going to let just anything come into your experience and cheapen you.
Hey, look, you in here dropping gems, bombs, culture shocks, all of it, and just a big couple big words: compromise, integrity.
Yeah.
You're in a
Yeah.
situation that's well protected, but more importantly, being able to understand, what's important to you and who you are, and don't ever fall for the carrot dangling. Just keep your integrity if you know when you're in that. And that goes the same with any
Yes.
entertainment industry, whether it be music, whether it be art, whether it
Mhm.
be culture, whether it be TV and film. Just be true to
Mhm.
who you are and be consistent and diligent in your work, and it'll come to you. And you are a prime example of that. That's why I love
Absolutely.
having you on the show talking about this stuff, talking about the All Black Network more importantly,
Mhm.
because a lot of people still don't know about it because it's kind of hidden in there, but it's
Mhm.
such a great
Mhm.
place where you can find good quality content that's cultivated by us that needs the support so it
Yes.
can move bigger and better things and continue to open the doors the same way that your family has by doing the production, the acting and everything else. And I'm sure, like I said, filming in DC as a DC native, this is Randall, right? As a DC
Yes.
native, loving that, bringing that money back to the community and also bring the opportunity back to me. So shout out to you and the Gibson family for
Shout out
doing
to
that in such a big
DC.
way.
Absolutely.
This was
And all
all
the
for
talent
us.
that comes from this area.
All of
Shout
Houston.
out to Maya, bringing up Maya a few minutes ago. One of the best
Yes.
ever
Shout out
do.
to shout out to Maya, man. Everybody knows somebody that knows somebody. So when you say
Yes.
Maya, a couple of things popped in my head. That's crazy. But look,
Mhm.
I want to do this before because I want to make sure that we get into this deep dive with Corey. We ain't got a whole lot of time, but it's important because it's Valentine's Day weekend, right? It's
Mhm.
Valentine's. How was
Mhm.
your Valentine's Day weekend? What'd you do?
I
What'd you
I
do,
called it my self-love weekend because I'm single.
Kev?
So I still bought me some chocolate covered strawberries.
Nothing
I
wrong with
still
that.
I still had me some nice champagne.
Let's
I
go.
still did it was self-love for me. It was
Self-love.
self-love.
I love
Yeah. And I
it.
shared it with my family. I shared it with my kids. Yep.
Hey, Hef, what'd you do this weekend, man?
Valentine's Day is funny because when I'm gonna answer your question, K Dizzle, I'm not gonna be long winded. But Valentine's Day is funny because you know what stage people are in their relationship based upon what they did for Valentine's Day most of the time. So
Uh-huh.
I asked a buddy of mine, I said, what'd you do for Valentine? What'd you get your girl for Valentine's Day? He said, oh, some shoes and some tickets here. And I'm like, oh, y'all just started dating. Like that's early. I can tell. Because what I did was I try to take off as many tasks as I can from Shanae as possible.
Mhm.
So we have a 3-year-old Candace, and my girl really likes to not always be stuck with the house mom, moniker. And I just try to help out as much as I can. And I've been working on improving my presence around the house and not just, work, but just doing as much as I can. So I got the flowers and candy. And again, just try to be the best dad and partner I can be.
That's
Awesome.
good.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
I had to apologize to my wife because Friday and Saturday, close Valentine's Day, I had the flu. So I was in the
Oh,
bed the
oh,
entire time. I didn't go to work, do nothing. I wasn't able to go out and do nothing. But as I'm sitting in the bed Saturday morning with the flu still, we've been together. We've been 19 years this year.
congratulations.
Thank you. And the thing about it was I sat in the bed of myself, sick to the flu, and I said, hey, this is terrible on your behalf because you need to do better with planning. Oh, look at that. We love you, Alan.
Oh, love you too,
Love you
baby.
in the chat. We have to do better with planning. And men, of course, we have to do better with planning. And said, if I had planned this properly, whether I was sick or not, something would have happened. Some things would happen. So I had to genuinely apologize to my wife and my girl. So that was a mistake on my hand. But when I was bringing this thing together, right? And let me put this in the chat because I was thinking about
Uh oh.
Valentine's Day and I was thinking about love, right? And we all are looking or searching or seeking that forever love, right?
Mhm.
We're looking for that forever love, albeit marriage or whatever you want to call it, right? And this thing, chap, is popped in my head, all right, as normal things do, um, is the illusion of forever love. Is it realistic? Man, this is a deep dive. We can do a quick deep dive. Is the illusion of forever love is it realistic? And Hef, I'm gonna ask you this question, right? Is the expectation of forever love unrealistic? Does it set us up for failure when relationships inevitably change or end? Is it realistic to think in 2025 that forever love is still possibly, it still can be a reality when you
I,
think
s-
about it?
I still feel, Candace, that internally people still want to be in love forever. I think that as a human being, we want to be loved. I really believe it. You asked a question a couple of episodes ago, K Dizzle. Did the human species, how did you phrase that question again?
I said, are humans created to be with one person?
Right. So you just asked, are humans created to be with one person? I said no, but our emotions and our intellect require us to not want to hurt our partner and love our partner. So we tend to overthink, I think, just our instinct was my opinion there. And that's how I feel about forever love. I think that people still do have that belief and that want and that desire. I don't believe that these kids, just because they, are a little bit different socially than we were growing up, they don't want that same feel. I think people still do. Now, are people still putting in the work to set themselves up for forever love? I don't know. That's a different
Mm.
conversation. But I think we do still want it.
What do you
Yeah.
think, Andy?
I definitely, being single, I definitely still have my heart open for someone to come in and be my forever love.
Mhm.
I think that through time we learn to love ourselves first. I mean, when I was younger, of course, I had the puppy love, and I think that I learned the different phases of love as time went on. And then ultimately, it circled back to me. It circled back to how much do I love myself, and how much work am I willing to do to serve someone else, right? Because my children have taught me that.
That's a great mindset to have, though.
Oh yeah, my children have taught me that. So I kind of have an archetype in my head about what love should look like, I guess.
Mhm.
But ultimately it's me. Ultimately it's me. It's how much do I how I love on myself. How am I attracting that to myself? Am I, vetting quality? I'm sorry, my son is up.
That's
Am I, if as being single, have I vetted enough to make sure that I picked someone to share all of what I have that's healed, and that, I'm a giver. So am I with someone that I can give and then they can reciprocate? And when I feel like if you find somebody that is your match and that is your equal, and you can get deep with them, and then yeah, you can have a forever love because you can grow together. You have to have a like a mind and soul connection more than just physical. I mean, physical is like the cherry on top, but that deep love, like this is my person. Not only this is my person, this is my family. If when I get sick, I know they're going to take care of me. Vice versa, if they get sick, I'm gonna take care of them. I have my parents right now have been married for 54 years.
Wow.
I have a really good example of a forever love. And I've seen their marriage go through all the stages.
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen them be the lovebirds, lovey-dovey when they were young. I've seen them both. I've seen the what do you call, the midlife crisis on both of them.
Mhm.
Like, who am I? What is my identity? Who am I outside of just being your wife or just being your husband? Like,
Wow.
it all circled back to them loving themselves. And then I saw them get to, now that they're 70s, they could have an argument, and then 5 minutes later it's like, babe, what you doing? you know and they could have an argument and be like, we still going to the movies later, because it's a true commitment that is so deep that they're literally one. They're completely intertwined.
Mhm.
That is family. That is literally family. It's not I don't like the way you did this, so now you irritate me so bad I don't want to be around you. It's not that. It's like, oh, is that how you feel? Okay, well, I don't feel like that. So
So,
you go to your corner, and when you're ready to be happy again, you come on back over here.
yeah,
It's one of those situations like, you're not going to change my mood. I still love you though.
let me ask you this
That's the
quick.
forever love that I kind of, I don't know,
Let me see.
imagine in my head to have.
What do you think is more important when you talk about love? Is it being understood or understanding the other person? Which one do you think is more important?
I think that if you can put yourself in another person's shoes and have understanding,
Mhm.
then yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's knowing who you are, but being able to understand somebody else.
Girl, you just answered the question with both answers. So
I mean, it's both. It's really
yeah,
both. because I know that I'm a flawed person. When you um are able to reflect
Mm-hmm.
when things happen, and you're able to look and say, okay, what could I have done better? All right, let me put myself in their shoes for a second and see, to have some understanding as to why they react or respond in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can have a better understanding.
Candace, how
I
did you
have to
get to
get to
that
know
point?
you.
How did you get to the point to be able to do that? Did
Be,
you always have that ability?
no, no, that came from having failed relationships, one, but then turning. I never wanted to be the person that was like, it's all their fault.
Mm.
Every time something went wrong, it was them, it wasn't me.
Mm.
And so I've just always been the type of person. I listen to like Neville Goddard. I listen to things that help me. Tony Robbins. I read books on self-development. And so I already know we're all flawed. We are all flawed.
Amen.
When I finally get someone, that which I know I will, I know they're not a perfect person. They're gonna have their flaws. They're gonna make mistakes. So I need to be able to say, what am I willing to do? Who am I? Am I strong enough to have an understanding? Be able to look at them and see their flaws and say, okay, well, that's where they need to work on or whatever, but so do I. Especially if this is a forever thing, because I'm your mirror.
Mm.
I'm going to reflect back to you what you give to me.
Mm.
That's
I
just
gotta
what
write
women
this
are.
down because I've been getting yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what women are. Like if we really want to get down to it, you give us the seed and we multiply it. Whatever you give to me, I'm going to multiply it. So if you giving me negative energy, I'm going to give it back to you. You understand? But it's going to be multiplied. My job though is for how I feel is, if you giving me something negative, if you giving me negative energy, I want to know where it came from. I
Mhm.
want to know why it happened. I want to know, is it a way that we can sit down and work that thing out so it doesn't happen again.
What happens if like you love this man very much, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason and you kind of know where it's coming from, but he keeps on bringing that negative energy, not because of you, but because let's say it's his job.
Mm-hmm.
How many passes would you give him based on how much you love him before he figures it out?
Well, I mean, it depends on if he's trying to develop. Because some people will say, well, I'm an ever evolving person. I'm always ever evolving. I'm always changing. Now, if you tell me that I've done something, or if you're telling me, okay, this is what I'm seeing, and I'm not willing to change it, and it's a deal breaker for me, then maybe we not, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we not compatible. But it has to be something that's like constant, like a real deal breaker. Like,
Right.
you cheating, you talking to other women. That's a deal breaker for me. You constantly turning your head. If you're not willing to grow and evolve from that behavior, then it's a done deal for me. I'm not, because I can't continue to put myself through that. But if it's something like, maybe you have a negative thought that you keep repeating to yourself in your head about your confidence. And I'm like, baby, hold your head up, baby, hold your head up, baby, hold your head up. And I see you trying to get rid of that thought because maybe your mama beat that into you, or maybe your daddy beat that into you, and maybe it's not true. Maybe a teacher said it to you one day and it stuck with you, and I can see this is affecting you. And I'm like, baby, this is not it. And I'm trying, but I see you're trying, then yeah, we can work it out. It's the changed behavior that you should be looking for.
Mm.
It's the evolving that you should be looking for. We're all flawed. We're not perfect. But if you see a person can evolve, if you can see that they're trying, if you can see they're putting effort towards changing, then yeah, that can be worked out. That can be worked out. But if you're gung ho on being single when you're not single, then you're gonna be single.
Nah, that's some real deep gems. K does you ain't tell me Candace was coming through tonight with all these gems.
Hey, look, I already know when we turn the camera on and the mics go live, up. I let the words come out because it's always going to be something that's going to be impactful. And I think one of the things that she said that I'm going to sit on is, one of the questions that I was going to propose, and she answered it before I can even ask it, was how do you measure the strength of a relationship? And I think you measure that through the ability to allow each other and to help each other grow, not only just as a unit, but as individuals, because it's so
Mhm.
important to know that, my significant other is there to help me with my inadequacies and to help me see me for my true self, and it's going to be there every step of the way to allow me to grow and help me to grow into the things that I need to grow into. And it's going to build me up and encourage me on some of the things that I was missing from when I came up, or from from my life. Because what we're supposed to do as two people together, not only just create just one, but again, like I said, create us both better people so we can be better together. And I
Mhm.
think that just determines the level of commitment that you have to seeing your partner grow, determines really does determine how long that love lasts. And
Mhm.
that is the key to success. That's the key getting back to the forever. And it
Yes.
takes time, energy, and effort. And it's not an overnight thing. And you go through it like the waves. You go up and down. There are hills and valleys. There are peaks. There's peaks to it, but it's just how consistent are you with that? How obedient are you to the word of that within your
Mhm.
relationship? But more
Yeah.
importantly, um, what matters to you the most? Is it just the facade of the marriage, or is it actually us?
And
Mhm.
also, and
That-
also, K Dizzle, not to cut you off, but Candace mentioned it a couple of times. Self love.
Mhm.
We look for forever love, and we don't really love ourselves.
That's right.
And
Mhm.
and it's so important, and I'm glad that you mentioned it because in order for you to be able to get that love, you have to love yourself because we subconsciously project. And when we're not happy with ourselves, we can project that negativity towards our partner, and really it's internal. So
Exactly.
great advice, Candace, love yourself so you can project the
Yes.
positive love that you need to obtain that
Exactly.
forever love. So man,
Exactly.
great talk.
And look, I'm putting it in the chat again for those on their phones where they are. Go follow Candace Van Beauty on TikTok and get all of the stuff you need to see. She's posting on there. She's showing the clips. Go download Conspirators, Double Cross,
Yes,
All
absolutely.
Black, Amazon Prime. Okay, support our culture, making great films and everything that we provide. Look, this is homegrown talent. This is DMV born and raised from top to
Yay.
bottom.
Yes.
Love you for coming onto our platform and sharing and dropping bombs and diamonds and gems so that the people can hear what they need to hear. And that's why we do what we do.
Thank you
Candace,
for having me. I appreciate y'all having me so much.
look, if I just in TikTok, tell them where else they can find you.
Well, I do have an IG page,
Hmm.
and it's the same handle. I am Candace Van Beauty, and I just started the Dim Gibson's YouTube channel.
Okay.
So, in my downtime, when I came back home from LA, I decided to take some digital marketing classes and some influencer and marketing strategy classes to kind of like help the company. And so I started our YouTube channel. So follow Dim Gibson's films on YouTube as well as Instagram. So you can get, if you are an actor or if you want to learn production, anything like that,
Coming.
you can follow these pages. My sister right now has a How to Get Greenlit series, which actually breaks down script writing and
Wow.
actually how to get it greenlit. So not just writing your stories, but what are the producers and executive producers looking for when they read a script? What are they looking for that said, okay, yeah, this is ready for production?
Hmm.
And then you can get that $2 million budget to go shoot whatever you need to shoot.
Wow.
So we're really trying to put as much information out there that we can. I know it's slow right now because I'm doing it, and so I have to do it. I have to take my time and make sure I'm putting everything out there one step at a time, right? But the whole objective is to pass it along, pay it forward, and make sure that anybody who's inspiring film production crew, anything like that. You want to be a PA, which was one of the reasons why we did it here in DC. We had a lot of PAs come in, production assistants, catering, hair and makeup, everything. Every department was DMV activated.
Hey,
Okay, so
let me
yes.
let me say this. Okay, and look, shout out to the homie. Okay, I just pictured this. I pictured the Climbback series on the All Black Network. Let me put that in the air. Shout out to, if you don't know, the boy Have Streams Media on YouTube. Candace, go watch his Climbback series. It is
Okay.
Thank you.
dope.
Thank you.
Show it to your family. See
I
what-
will. I
Well,
will.
Awesome. Shout out to Have Streams. You can find him everywhere. You can find me everywhere. Same thing K does with DC, as well as you can find us on the ADU podcast channel. Look,
Yes.
man, again, great, fantastic show. Shout out to the underdogs. We love it. We do this for y'all. We do it for everybody here. Hopefully you got some out of it. Make sure you share it, like, comment, subscribe. We are everywhere you can find Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Tidal, whatever. We are there. Again, we love Candace Van Beauty for coming out. You guys know what we are. We appreciate you. If you have anything you want to have a show about, amen. And look, Candace, in a world where that's where I'm coming.
Okay.
So, in a world where
Yes.
time meets everything. I got it.
I feel it. I feel it.
Just put your anything you got you want to add, alldresseduppodcast@gmail.com. If you got some show topics, again, don't be afraid to come online. We bring and invite everybody. We are setting some big things up in the future. We appreciate y'all again for coming and showing up and showing out. We love y'all. Thanks, Sal, for the fabulous show. We will catch y'all in 2 weeks. All right. Peace out, everybody. Love y'all.
And you know, and I know, and they know, and we know, we go all in, you know, and I know, they know.